And you would have thought that things didn't get crazy. Well, hell, they've just gotten crazier. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are in the world. You know who it is, JJ on JJ's PC Builds. You know, today is the day for graphics card nightmares, right here on the channel. So what we're going to do is we're just going to hop right into it. We're going to have a look at Amazon, Newegg, and Micro Center. And I know some people kept asking me about eBay. If I'm going to do a video about eBay, then I'll probably do a video about Jawa and Temu and, eBay. Not saying they're doing all used parts, but, or AliExpress and eBay and, probably AliExpress and eBay. Do them as one video. But today we're going to do the video like this. We're going to do Amazon, Newegg, and Micro Center. So let's just jump right into it and get this video going. So we're going to jump to the Action Center, so stay tuned. And we made it to the Action Center. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to take and pop up DuckDuckGo. Yes, I'll slide it up here because I didn't have anything prepared. And like I told you all, if I don't have anything prepared, then I'm just going to jump right into it. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit Amazon. Yeah, we're going to hit Amazon first. And then, like I told you all, go to the all button up here, scroll down to where it says computers. And then mine's already set for a graphics card for gaming PCs. So going on, looking down the list, and the middle of this month, we're going to be doing a monthly price review. So it's probably not going to be the next week. It'll probably be the following week. So not next Friday. It'll be the following Friday that we do a price check on what's going on between July and August. See, I've been kind of snickering it around because some birdies in my ear have been, tickling something and called the 8000 series discrete graphics cards from AMD. I've been hearing this rumor about Q1 and Q2 of next year, but that's just a little spoiler alert for you all. Let's go ahead and look at these low price graphics cards. And they had these 580s for like $96 or whatever. See, I wouldn't get the 580. I would get the 590 CME. Okay, the 590 CME because it's got 2,304 SPs. This has only got 2,048. So I would kind of go with the 590 CME if you're going to do something like that. That's if you can find one brand new, but I doubt it. But these are how can I say it? Old new kind of situations. You probably don't want to be stuck in that. 3060. A lot of people are saying, don't get a 3060. That's your choice if you do, but I would suggest to wait until either AMD, Intel, or NVIDIA comes up with their next generation cards. And don't forget your drink and snacks, by the way, people. This is for energy. This is good stuff. This is not soda. Soda is really bad for you because it's got a lot of salt in it and it retains water and, gives you that extra weight you don't need. 3060s. Let's see. Lineup. None of these cards right here interest me for the simple fact they really don't. Not even the 4060. Right now I can tell you I have the 4070 right here. And I keep saying that every time to you all. 4070. And now it seems that they're having a hard time getting the chips built, the memory chips built for the 4070. So it looks like it might come down to the 4070 and the lineup for the 4070 and up, or the whole 40 series. That you might not be able to have that chance because it might go scarce on these graphics cards. If you remember, they were talking about, remember when they had the cryptocurrency crash to where graphics cards became scarce and everything else? Well, it's coming to the point where that might happen again with some of the 40 series on AMD. They're not too sure how this is going, either the 6X or the 6, or they're not too sure on if they can get the chips to continue building some of the 40 series cards or not. It's been up in the air. So when I get a total on what's going on with those, I'll make sure I tell you guys, because right now it looks very grim. Let's go back to the action screen. Okay, where we left off, looking at the graphics cards, they got a 7600 XT for $320, 6600 for $210. Now, do remember, they had this graphics card down to $179. So it kind of makes me think, well, if they had it down to $179, why is it up to $209? Especially when they got new graphics cards going to be coming out either Q1 or Q2 of next year. That's what the word is on the street right now. So, I mean, $650 for a 4070, 4060 Ti, 8 gigabyte for $420. I'm not too keen on that. 4060 for it being $370. I wouldn't pay that because, from what I'm hearing, that the price on an 8800 XT, the next lineup, they're looking at a price of $399 or $499 in between there. So, yeah, there's another little leak there for you. Let's see, 580, 7900. See, I wouldn't waste my money on the 7900 XTX right now. If you guys are going to buy a graphics card and you want to buy an AMD graphics card, I suggest you wait until the new graphics cards come out, because you don't want to take and turn around by this generation and next generation having 40% more than the 7900 XTX. You don't want to do that. That would be like shooting yourself in the foot, and I don't think you want to do that. So, gotta love it. Water in my mix keeps you well hydrated. But coming down to it, even spending $1,000 on a graphics card is like over the limit. That's too much. Your standard person is only gonna spend between $300 and $600 just to play games at 1440p or 4K. I know for a fact that my system here, the way it's built right now, can do 1080p, 1440p, and do 4K. So if I want to, do 4K and do it all the time, then me, myself, what I would do is I would upgrade my motherboard, my CPU, my RAM, and that's all I would need to upgrade. But I'm waiting for the 9000 series to come out with the 800 series motherboards and see what the pricing is there. Before I decide I want to jump up into that fire, I want to see some stats on it and everything else before I decide to buy it for myself, and probably use it as a test bench or whatever, just to test other CPUs, other graphics cards, and so on. I was thinking about doing that. As far as me upgrade, even before I decide to take that test bench, that motherboard, CPU, and RAM, and put it into my system and upgrade it, I want to see what it can do. So I'm waiting for that. I'd rather put my money towards that than to put my money on, buying another graphics card or whatever. But if you're looking for a graphics card right now, and I can understand if you got a 10 series graphics card, a GTX graphics card, and you want to move up in the world and you want to make your graphics a little bit better, I can understand that. But if you're going to spend $500 or $600, I would wait. But if you're going to spend like $100 to $200, or even go into the used market and buy there, then that's a different story. I mean, but let's move down the road. I don't look at these 580s as an entry level card, because I would rather you stay with the 6000 series on AMD or greater, 6000 or 7000 series. I mean, if you bought a 6600 just to say, and it's $200. I mean, if you go up 100 and some dollars more, you can get yourself a 7600 XT. It's got 16 gigs of RAM, which has got double the amount of RAM of a 6600, which is faster than a 6600. Or save your money, and if you want to take your shot with Intel, then get yourself an ARC card, like a, was it 770 or 750? A770 or A750? I would go with the A770 myself if I was going to do that. But they got Battle Mage. They're working on the Battle Mage cards, so I wouldn't even go as far as that, because figure this A7700, it's probably going to be like $349. Let's do this. Let's just take a gander. We'll go Amazon. Okay. We'll open up another Amazon, and we'll just tie in ARC A770. Okay, so they got the Sparkle Intel ARC A770 Titan OC edition, 16 gigabytes of GDR6, right here for $319. They got this one right here, ASRock Intel ARC A770. See, it's got 2200 megahertz, 17.5 gigabits per second, 256. That's kind of where I just stop right there. Okay. Because the 7800 XT from AMD has 19.5 gigabits per second at 256 bit bus. And I think it's GDR6 as well. So that's something to think about too. I mean, if you really want to get down to it. So if you're spending $200 on a 6600, right? But you can take and turn around and get yourself a $300 card. This would be less than $100 more, but for double the amount of RAM. If you like that card, or you want to get one that looks like this, the Sparkle Titan, that's up to you. Let's just say the ASRock. We know what the 6600 does, and we know what the 770 does. Okay? So, looking at it, it's $299, right? Let's see. It's not a bad card. It's got some good graphics on it. And it's got 3 display ports, 1 HDMI port, Or if you're looking for something like a Challenger D for $189, okay, but that's 8 gigabytes, but this is 16 gigabytes for $100 more. See, this is, $200, then you got $300, even for $100 more. Even for $100 more, it's not a bad deal. Instead of spending that $200, $100 more, get yourself a A770 with 16 gigabytes of RAM, and it's overclockable. So you can go that. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, the drivers of Intel for the ARC cards are not all the way up to 100% spec, which is true. But they have not stopped working on upgrading the driver sets for those cards. They have not stopped yet. And when they stop doing that, and then you can make that determination, say, okay, well, but as far as I know right now, they haven't stopped. They're still making updates to those cards. So that's a good thing. I mean, if you look at it, it's like $179 cheaper than the 7800 XT from AMD. So it's like a go-to in-between kind of card if you're looking for that kind of card. Just an idea. I'm sooner or later, I'm going to think about getting me one and testing it out. I was thinking about the A770 myself. for 300 bucks. I mean, a friend of mine, great subscriber of mine, told me, "Hey Jay, why don't you get a 7600?" Well, it's $255. Let's get the calculator out, right? So we'll get the calculator out. I'll let y'all see that. So right here, it's 255 bucks. So you got $300 AMD card. So you minus that from the 255, and you save yourself 45 bucks. And you look on the charts. We'll go ahead and X out of this. If you look on the charts and you look at the 7600, right? So let's go look on this, the relevant specs. Let's see. Does it give me a relevant specs? Ouch. And it doesn't. So that's weird. Let's say the A770 stats. Let's see if it. Let's just go by what we see, right? Let's just go by what we see. Okay, let's shrink this down a little bit here. Okay, so let's look at the difference between the 7600 and this. Okay, the A770's got 4,096 cores. The 7600's got 2,048 cores. The TMUs is 256 on the A770 and 128 TMUs on the 7600. The ROPs are 128 compared to 64. The memory size, the VRAM, is 16 gigabytes of VRAM compared to 8 gigabytes of VRAM. They're both GDDR6, but the A770 has a 256-bit bus compared to 128. That right there is a no-brainer. But it shows that it's showing here that the 7600 is 6% faster than the A770. Why is that? The question is, why is that? I have a feeling that it's the driver issues right now that with the A770 that's causing this. Once Intel gets it all mastered, I guarantee the A770 is going to be right up there with the 7800 XT. Close to it. Not saying it's going to be, but it's close to it. Because if you look at the 7800, this is the 7600. I know I'm off on a tangent. And we look at a 7800 XT right here. Okay, so that's only got 3,840 cores right here. Where you had 4,096 cores on an Intel Arc. And it had more ROPs, and the rest of it is what it is. You would think that A770 would be equal or a little bit greater than this card right here. You would think. I mean, and why they would put it all the way down at the bottom is beyond me. So, truthfully, because right here, it says on the chart it's 44% slower than the 7800 XT. On a different chart, it says something different. This chart, it says something different. But going by the calculation of the two, okay, going by the calculation of the two, let's get back to where we were. I think the A770 is going to be one card that's going to be reckoned with. And if they do an upgrade for Battle Mage on that A770, it's going to be out of this world. Okay? It's going to be out of this world. So when you're going to buy a graphics card, I would think, and let's go ahead and move over to Newegg, that if you're looking for a lower priced graphics card, then I would think about going with the A770 myself, knowing you can get it at $300, between 300 and 329 bucks. But it's got 16 gigs of VRAM, so when they start closing the gap on those driver issues and it starts getting down to where there's none left, that card's going to be a valuable card. It's going to be worth twice. It's going to be up between the $500 and $600 range. When they get all said and done, it's going to be between the $500 and $600 range. Especially with the 7800 XT being right in between the $400 and $500 range. I really think that the ARC A770 is going to be right there with it. I think it's being underjudged for what it truly can do. To me, that's what I think. But let's move on. We're on Newegg now. You got a 2060 Super for $250. To me, that's a little bit outdated. Even some of the, like your GTX 1660 Super. And understand, NVIDIA stopped building those cards. So some of those cards are not going to have driver updates. So sooner or later, the driver updates are going to discontinue on those cards, the GTX series. If they already have. I'm still seeing people getting updates on them, but it's not going to last forever, because once a card, far as I know, when cards get around 10 years old, they kind of discontinue them after 10 years. So, sorry, I had to clean my glasses. But that's usually the limit. I would think, being in business, that would be the max limit I would carry a card, and then retire it and then move on. But it all depends on the manufacturer. If they want to carry it longer, that's up to them. But me, right here, $479.97. I showed you guys the stats on it. It's the Asus Dual 7800 XT. For $479, $480. I got the 7800 XT Power Color Hellhound for $520. So that's not a bad price. But this one on top here is an Asus Dual RTX 4070. The duals are not bad. They're not a bad card. They got a 6700 XT. Look at this. They got an XFX 6700 XT with 12 gigabytes for $280. This will make you think really carefully. It's a 6700, but it's not going to have the same push as the 7800. I can tell you that. 4070 Ti, 3080, 4090. That's not bad compared to, but I would never buy a 4090. I have my reservations. Why? Why would I buy a 4090 when I got a 4070 that's one half of a 4090, but still does great on gaming? Why would I go with the 4090 when I got a just as good or even better card right here? It has the same driver, carries the same drivers, carries, the same frequencies and everything else. The only difference is that's got 24 gigabytes of VRAM. This has got 12 gigabytes of VRAM. So that's the reason why I say one half. So, 550, 4070 Super. Well, the 4070 Super comes with the free game. So if it's a $50 game, 4070 Super, $600, that'll bring it down to $550. So it's not a bad deal. That's not a bad deal from Newegg. Just saying. It's not a bad deal. $6,800. They want $600. I'd go back to the 4070 Super if I were you. 4070 Ti Super, no. No. 4070 Super Evo, 10% off, so it's $589. I go back to the one with the game if that was me. See, 7900 XT for $690. 90 more dollars, getting 20 gigabytes of VRAM for 90 more bucks. Oh. So you think about it like this: 90 more dollars gives you a 256-bit bus, gives you 20 gigabytes. Let's dig deep into this one. See, it's got 5,376 streaming processors. It's a 320-bit bus, 20 gigabytes for 90 more dollars, which is not bad. Which is not bad. So, that's not a bad price. That's not a bad price. I mean, going from 12 to getting 8 more gigabytes of RAM, let's say each chip cost you $15 a piece, or in a value of getting up there, if they're 1 gigabyte or they're 2 gigabyte. If they're 2 gigabytes, then they would be a 2 by 10. So it would be 10 chips. Say about $25 a chip, at least. Not too bad. Not too bad. See, they even got a 16 gigabyte, $550, 7900 GRE, 16 gigabyte. So you get 4 more gigabytes than a 4070. 16 gigabytes. No, that's a little too expensive. Too expensive. 7800 XTs. But look what it says. Get 2 selected game bundle with the purchase limited offer. So that would make that $385 for a 7800 XT. $485 without the game bundle, but you get 2 games, say they're $50 each. That would make this to $385. That's not too bad. You get 1 game, still makes that would make that $535. That's not too bad neither for $535. But I would 4080 Super, forget it. 6750, no. 4080. Let's just keep moving on down the road, see if we find anything that's special. $20 promo code. Still, it's not going to make a difference. 2 game bundle for a 7800 XT with the 2 game bundle, and that's a Hellhound, Power Color Hellhound. So that would make that a $419 card for a Power Color Hellhound with 2 games right here. Get 2 selected games. They got an Acer Bifrost. That would make that $459. That's kind of shaky. You want to keep the price between as low as you can. If you can get it for lower than $400, with 2 game bundle, then you're doing good. So $580, they give you $3 off promo code. $559, that would make that $509, and it's a 4070. $40 promotional, that would make that, no, that wouldn't be worth it. 4070 with 1 game, that would make that at about $500. That would make that a $500 gigabyte card if you like gigabyte. I'm not a fan of gigabyte. I'm sorry. Not yet. They got to prove me wrong. And this is what I'm going to tell Gigabyte. And Gigabyte, hear me very carefully. You want to prove me wrong? Send me a graphics card. You know that's going to work on my system. So that's not going to give me a bunch of problems. So until then, they got to prove themselves to me. And they haven't proven themselves to me yet. Okay, now let's go to Micro Center. Let's hit Micro Center. And pull up Micro Center. Let's see if they can kill it. Let's see if we can type in graphics cards. Let's see if Micro Center can kill it today. They have nothing to ship. Right here it says 0 available to ship. They got 305 items in Micro Center store. So always look for the good things, the bad things, and the other things. See, one game, $999, 4080 Super, making that $950. Not bad. $50 under MSRP, not bad. Let's see, 4070 Super brings that to $560. No, not really. 4080 Super, $50 off. That'll bring that to $909. That'll bring it closer down to $909 with the free game. Not bad. Getting better. Nope. Look at 7900 XT. Okay. No. 4070, 549 brings that down to 500. You can still get that on Amazon. See, understand, if you can get this on Amazon and shipped to your door, then that's understandable. If you can go to Micro Center and get the same deal without having to do the shipping, then go that route too. Micro Center and Amazon carry the same warranties, believe it or not. So you should have no problem with that. TI Super, nope. Let's see, 4070 Super, no. Nope. 3060, nope. We know we got a 3060 crowd. 3060 crowd, more power to you guys. I ain't got no beef with the 3060 crowd. I'm just part of the 4070 crowd. And everybody's like, oh my God, yeah, Jay, you know, the 4070 crowd sucks. You know how many short videos I seen people talk about the 4070 being crap? Well, I hate to tell you this. You can talk all that crap you want. The 4070 is a lot better than you think. It's just you don't know how to use it. That's the problem. Everybody craps on NVIDIA because of their prices. Well, let me give you a little helpful hint. You might crap on NVIDIA because of their prices. But it comes down to with AMD, why don't you think about their drivers and being able to overclock their graphics cards? I've already ran into many problems like that with AMD. I go to overclock it and my whole PC shuts down. Think about it. I'm telling you, from my point of view and my experience, this has happened many of times. Many of times. Now, when it comes to NVIDIA, on the other hand, I only had it happen once. But that's back in the early years when NVIDIA started to come out. But now, I run the 4070. I can overclock the 4070 on their app, or I can clock it with MSI Afterburner with no issues. None. I got MSI Afterburner running right now at stock. I got it set at stock. And it's running beautifully. I don't have overheating issues or anything else. That's one aspect that with AMD that they got a big issue with, is that they do tend to overheat when it comes to the graphics cards. Depending on the graphics card, not all of them do it. Some do. Okay. Now with the 7800 XT and the 4070, I got lucky. I don't have an overheating issue with either one. But if I go to hit the 7800 XT hard, I mean hit it to the max hard, yeah, it'll get up to about 70-80C. But if I run it normally and I run it at stock and just use it as a normal thing and I get perfect FPS and everything else, then, you know, it runs between 60 and 70C, just like the 4070. So, thinking about that, I don't have a problem. Let's get back to it, guys. All right. Let's move on down the road a little bit. It's going to be a little longer than usual video, so do expect it. And if you stayed this long, please subscribe to the channel. It's not hard. It costs you absolutely nothing. I'm making videos on my personal experience. Yes, once in a while, I will do a PC build, because that's a part of what the channel is about, PC building. It's either I'm doing something online, showing you how to build something, or I show you indirectly how to build a PC. Okay? Not every day, every waking second is going to be building a physical PC. Not a lot of your reviewers have that kind of money, and I know I don't. But when I do get the money, I put together all the parts, and I buy it myself. I don't ask my viewers to buy it. I don't ask anybody to buy it. I buy it myself. Or I earn the money to buy it. So you have to understand, you know, I'm not that kind of person that's going to say, oh, well, you guys need to, you know, help support the channel and buy this for me. You hear me say that? No. I would rather get sponsors and have the sponsors pay for getting, you know, hardware for, you know, the build PCs for this channel. This way it doesn't come out of the consumer's pocket. If sponsors want to sponsor me like that, then they can. I'm not accepting money, so I don't see what the big deal is. But I have yet to accept any money from anybody other than me trading my work for parts. I'm still working for it. That's a bit different than me taking in a sponsorship. Even though I say, yeah, they sponsor me, well, I still do work for them in trade for me getting PC parts. Sometimes. Not all the time. This is not all the time. This is once in a blue moon kind of thing. It's when people need something. But anyway, let's move on. Oh, 4070 Super, nope. 6750, nope. 7900 XT, no. I say no because of the price. If you know you can get prices cheaper on some equipment, you know, that's where you go. You go with the cheapest price possible. That's how you shop for your PC parts. You shop, being a conservative, you conserve the certain amount you spend towards your graphics card, because your graphics card is the most expensive piece in your computer. The most expensive. But also, too, can become the least expensive if you buy integrated graphics. That makes it the least expensive because it's built onto the CPU processor. You can't get any more cheaper than that. But, let's see, 7700X. If I'm going to spend $400, I'm just going to drop another $179 and get me something better. So that's how you got to look at it. I mean, when you shop, you say to yourself, do I want a 7700? And it's only going to give me 17% less than a 7800. Or it gives you 12 to 13% more on a 7800 XT compared to a 7700 XT. You look at the percentages. The bang for your buck. Is it going to be better for the bang of your buck to go to one than going to the other? So you don't want to kick yourself in the butt, especially if AMD comes out with an 8800 XT that's 39% faster than a 7900 XTX. Just to say. Just as an example. Just as an example. So you guys, you have to really think about it when you shop. Okay. Me, I'd rather wait. Truthfully, I'd rather wait to see what the next best thing is going to come out. Because if they start using this 2-year rule to where you're not going to have anything come out for 2 years, and that's what NVIDIA is thinking about doing themselves. Every 2 years, pop out a graphics card. Even though I hear another thing happening too, that NVIDIA might get into some trouble with the FEC over, monopolizing the AI scene. They lost a little bit of stock prices, I think, today. So let's go back to the main screen. We made it to the end of Micro Center. Okay, final thought. Just like I told you, there's going to be what ifs and who does and everything else. You have to use your judgment when it comes to buying PC parts. One, you have to look at the end of life, when they're going to end this series and go to the next generation, how long this generation is going to go on before they move on. Because in the 40 series, it seems like this is pretty much all we're really going to get unless they come out with the 4090 Titan. Or, that would be the only logical solution when it comes to this, because that's pretty much all they got the room for is a 4090 Titan. Or they come out with a 4080 Ti Super. That's all they really got room left for. Or a 4060 Super. That's about all that really they got the room for this 40 series when it comes to NVIDIA. Now, AMD, on the other hand, they got room. They can do a 7800. Yeah, they can do a 7800. They can do a 7900. And they can do a 7700 non-XTs. They can do a 7950 XTX. They can do a 7990 XTX. They can do a 7800 GRE. They got a 7900 GRE. They can do a 7800 GRE. And they got all the 8000 series. They got all those numbers up there. And they got all the 9000 series. They got all them numbers up there as well. So that's something to think about. Pathway moving forward with AMD. That's what it's looking like on their map. And with NVIDIA, what it's looking like on their map. Now, with Intel Arc, they can come out with many different variations. They could come out with an A790 or, many different variations. Intel has a wide roadmap they can come out with the Arc cards. Now, with Battle Mage, they're working on, I think they're just going to go up to Battle Mage and start from scratch again. And this time, make sure that they got all the drivers in store and everything else before they move on down the road. So, as far as what I see with graphics cards today, they got a little bit of a bundle deals going on. You can get graphics cards down $100. So yeah, you can get a graphics card down to $300 and some dollars. It's physical. See now, physical actual on a graphics card. If they bundle 2 games with one graphics card, say it's $479 for your 7800 XT, they bundle 2 games with it, and guess what? Now it's $379 or $380 just for the graphics card alone, because that's the physical part of it. Now, what's online is I'm just going to say it's the mental part of it, because it's in gaming. They give you 2 games that you play online, so that's not physically in your hand like the graphics card is. The games are physically online. So, but the cost of them can't cost the same if it came out of your pocket of you paying $480 for the graphics cards. But you get 2 games and you get a graphics card. So the total value makes that, if you look at it, makes it $580 retail value. Now, let's say those 2 games came on a CD that you can fully install to your computer. That's physical. That's a different story. That's physical, because now you got 2 CDs. Or if it came on a, USB stick, you get 2 games on a USB stick, and they're fully installable for your PC. And whatever games you choose, the 2 games you choose, and that's it. That's what you get. And they send it to you, and that's what you get. That's physical. Now, non-physical is where it's on Steam and you log into it and it's physically on Steam, but not physically in your hands. A graphics card is physically in your hands. A game is not. So, I know you guys are going to say, well, that's kind of crazy, Jay. Yeah, it is crazy. But the thing about it is you got a physical part that cost you $100 less by getting it with 2 games. So, a $380 graphics card with the total value with 2 games was $480, but with 2 games, an actual value of $580. So you figure the game's total value with the graphics card would have been $580. So, but the graphics card itself sells for $480. But since you're going to purchase 2 games anyway, the graphics card now becomes $380. Physical dollars. So, but anyway, guys, I'm at the end of the video. And if you made it to the end of the video, subscribe, hit the like button. Don't forget about the notification bell so you know when I post the next video. Until the next time in the next video, you know what this is, and we'll see you on the next one.